Hey guys, Wither Whisperer here, and today I am going to be doing a tutorial on my portal gun that I made a couple months ago. The reason I'm not on my original project is because I made that project quite a while ago, and I was a bit worse at coding. When I will try and look back on it, I'm probably not going to understand it. Yeah, I'm just starting fresh. So first we need to make a player. So just remove this main camera, and firstly let's just make a cube and call it ground. So this will be our ground. Let's just set all of its coordinates to 0. So just to make it more like ground, we'll just scale it up. I've already set up a layer for the ground called ground, but if you don't know what to do, you just go to here, then you press add layer, choose one of the empty slots and then type in your layer, click out, and then click back on the thing you want to add the layer to, then just add the layer. Now we need to make our player. We'll just make it a capsule or bean. Set all its coordinates to 0. Yeah, so I'm just going to add a material called ground material. So it's easier to tell apart what is ground and what is player. So I'm just going to make the ground red. Now before I started this, I made a movement script. Drag that onto the player. And on the player, I'm going to add a component, character controller. So just add that. So add this here to this slot, and all this speed, gravity, jump height, all that is already set. So we need to set a ground check. So what a ground check does is it makes sure that you don't fly off into space. So let me just call this ground check. Let me just put it here. And drag it here. So ground distance, I think that was the radius, or what it's called, of the ground check. Let me just set it to 0.2. And the ground mask, let's just set that to our ground layer. So hopefully this is going to work. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to put a camera in. And this is basically where our camera is going to be. So we're just going to scale that up to here. We need to add a camera move script. Just add that and then get inside of the script. So delete all of this, and then and just let's just remove this start method because we don't really need it yet. So we need to set this to the player body, and the mouse sensitivity, you can choose that, so I'm just going to set it to 100 right now. So here we go. Now you can successfully look around and you can move. And as you can see, you can probably see that the mouse is moving around. So to fix that, we just go into here, and I'm pretty sure, I think we should probably add a bool and call it can free mouse. Let's just set it to false. So we just do that and make an if statement. If can free mouse equals false, cursor dot lock state equals cursor lock mode dot locked, and then if input dot get key and set the key code to, let's say, just escape. Yeah, we will put can free mouse and set it to true. And if you're not holding escape, so else can free mouse equals false. Oh yeah, before we get out of this, we'll just set an else statement to the can free mouse. So this is basically saying if it is true, cursor.lock state equals cursor lock mode, and instead of locked, instead of locked, we set it to none. Yep, works so far. We can run around, jump easily, but then when we press escape, yep, you can move your mouse around, but when we lift our button off escape, and we press back on the camera, the scene, it disappears the mouse. So that's our movement all done. Now it's time to make the portals. So we're going to make our portals with a cylinder, and let's just call this portal 1 or portal A. Yeah, let's just call it portal A. And let's create you know what, let's just create folders for the scripts and materials just to organize. So we got portal A, and firstly I think we should create a material, and let's just set this to blue. So we'll set the values to just like a blue like this, and let's just apply this just so it has a glowy effect like in the Portal games. If you want that, toggle emission, and that basically allows it to make it look like it's glowing. So let's say if we do that, it looks like that, but then if we just arrange the values, here we have a nice glowy look. So let's just rotate it like this. Now we got that. I'm just going to put this in front of the player so it's easy to find the size, so the player can fit inside the portal. So let me just remove this collider. the collider kind of bugs out when it's too short like this. So a bit later we'll just maybe add a box collider. So we got a circle, stretch it out a bit, and widen it out a bit, stretch it out a bit again, and we have our blue portal. So the effect of the thing inside, where you can see the other portals, we're going to do that now. So let's just duplicate portal A, call portal A1 portal B, and let's create a new orange material just like this, but instead we make it orange. We'll just copy that so we don't have to do it all over again. We paste this, do that, and we should have a vibrant orange color. So we have that, and right now they're inside of each other, so let's just move that. And we've got our portals. They don't work yet, and well, firstly, before we get into the scripting, we're just going to do the camera things where you can see out that portal. So we need to get a camera, and let's just call this A-cam. And right now I think it's sideways, so let's just see what okay, so that's that. So the Z, I think you 90 degrees like that. I think it's acting like that because we rotated the cylinder. And right now it's upside down, so we need to rotate it by 180 degrees like that. And rotate it towards the font. So yeah. And just so we don't have to do that again, let's copy this, paste it into portal B. For some reason the scale's off, so I'm just gonna fix that. Okay, so as you can see, let's just create some colored cubes so we can tell the difference between each camera. Okay, I accidentally created a sphere, so let's just do that. So we've lined it up with the orange portal. So let's just color this orange, because this is the orange view. Duplicate the color sphere and put it in front of the blue sphere. Let me just call this color sphere A, and wait, other way around, color sphere A and color sphere B. So we have these now, so let me just create a game object, color spheres, just to make it tidier. So now let's just work on portal A first. Duplicate the parent, put it inside of the portal. Let's call this portal A view. Remove the camera from this and shrink this. Let's say so. Okay, that's way too short. 0.95. Yeah, about 0.95. 0.95 again. Yep. and slightly move it this way. Now, for the camera, oh yeah, the target display, put that all to 8 or any number except for 1, because then that's going to cause some problems with the main camera. So I think what we need to do is create a render texture. Let's just call this A, and move the render texture over to here. And now we got that. So we should create a material. Let's just call this A view. A view matte. So now I think drag this to the albedo. Drag the render texture to the albedo section, and we've got our view material. So we don't want to apply this to here, otherwise you would see this camera. Oh, it's sideways? Oh, we'll fix that later. We just need to, let's just duplicate the portal A view and put it into the portal B. So now just move the like that 0. Was it 95? 0.95, yeah. And we move this 0.09. There we go. And put that here. So now we can see the portal vision. So right now it's a bit wonky. Oh, we set the Z rotation of the portal A camera to 0. And yay, we have our vision in here. Now I don't know how to make it so that if your player is here, you see it like it's an actual portal. So I can't really do that. But there's a good video by Sebastian League, I'll link in the description, where he does that. We'll do a render texture for the portal B view now. Let's just call this B. Then just drag this over to the render texture. We create a new material, B view matte. Set the render texture and set it to that thing. And we have the same problem again, so just do what we did last time and set the rotation, Z rotation on the Z, just to 0. So now we should have working portals. Oh, did you see? You can see in that portal down there is the bean moving. So it does update. And before I go into the next section, there are 3 audio listeners in the scene, so that means we forgot to remove the audio listeners from the cameras. So that means if any audio plays, it's probably going to mess it up. Correction, they would only cause a problem if you have more than 3 of them in a scene at the same time. So let's just remove those, and that should be good. Now time for the scripting. So now let's move on to the scripting part of the portals. So let's create a new script on the player, call it Portal Manager. New script, create and add. So let's just remove this. We don't need it yet. So let's create a public transform a pos and a public transform b pos. Let's go back to over here, the Unity editor, and create those. So let's create an empty on portal A. Let's just call it a pos. Go up to it, and then maybe don't put the APOS too far away, because the APOS is where you get teleported and you don't want to go through any walls or something. And don't put it too close, otherwise then you might go back in the portal and it's an infinite loop. So put it about here, and then duplicate that, put it in portal B, call it bpos, set the Z position to 0, and we got our pauses. And let's just go back here. So let's create a void on trigger enter. Set the other to call just to make things easier. So create an if statement, and if call.compare tag is equal to, oh, it says class, oops, call.compare tag is equal to, put in the brackets, quotation marks, and I think it was portal A. Let me just check. For some reason they're not, they don't have their tags yet. So let's just put the tags on. And go back to Visual Studio. So portal A, let's copy this and remove the A and put a B in. Okay, I just cut the previous clip because what I was coding was wrong. So here's the working code. So we get a character controller from the player. Since this portal manager is attached to the player, it's because the character controller has its own transform and it freaks out whenever you try and teleport. So what we do is we disable that, set the transform, and if there's a transform and nothing next to it, like if there's no bpos or any game object, it usually means it's targeting itself. So in the next clip, it sounds like I'm saying our rotation, but I'm actually saying our rotation. The player's position is equal to the B position's position. And then here's the tricky part. So there's you get our rotation, and we equal that to a new quaternion, which is transform.rotation. So our rotation x, our rotation z, our rotation w, all those things. But we use the B position's y rotation. Oh, and enable character controller again. And just remember that we're using the opposite portal in this code because you don't want to teleport to yourself. So then you move on to the B portal and you basically copy paste this into here. Oops. But instead of using bpos, you used apos, and oops, made a mistake. So yeah, you use apos instead of bpos. Oh yeah, before I test it, you set the A position and the B position, you both set those Y rotations to -90. Just wait for it to load. And there we go. We go here, and then you see in that portal, if we just move it closer, we can see that the player can move towards it, and we can see it with the other one. We go through here, come out, and just the final test, just to see if it works. It might not work, but me from the future again, it actually does work. Let's just, before I go, let's set the rotations, okay, 180. So in the game Portal, you know, when you can fall infinitely, I'm going to try and recreate that. So it might not work, but you know, we'll just try. Moment truth. Yes! We can do it like the game. I mean, our momentum is stopped, but that's okay. Because I guess if you don't want it to stop the momentum, I guess you could maybe move it a bit further. By it, I mean the pause of the top portal. And this video will be pretty long if I do the portal gun in this video. Oh, there we go, it's working. Oh no, I'm stuck. So if I do the portal gun in this video, it's probably gonna take a while. So I'm gonna do that in the next tutorial. So before I go, if you want to do the rotation thingy where you keep falling, just put the position of the portal that is in the sky a bit down, because then it teleports the player into the portal, which collides and it stops the falling. So thank you for watching this tutorial if you watched it all the way, and stay tuned for the portal gun tutorial, which will hopefully happen. See ya.